Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and sitting across the holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart.
So I was thinking, because we said last week maybe that we weren't going to do it this week, we should call it like the Ninja or the Psych episode, maybe something like that.
Yeah, it's Elven Magic.
There you go. Yes. And it's not Hoth outside today, so we actually have here in Michigan a day where it's not a. I know, right? There you go. Man.
You know, yeah, I goofed up. I misspoke last week and said we're going to be gone next week because of the holidays. You know that holiday we all celebrate on December 18th. As we record this, I'm a doofus. We will be off next week, not this week. Next week. Yikes. So I'm glad you all made it. If anyone did. We've got some stuff to talk about too.
Yeah, we do.
We couldn't have taken this week off. We've got
no way.
A new face for Anakin.
Yes. How many is this now for gas?
Oh my goodness. I swear this is at least face number 4. At least 4. It might be more. No, the big news, Galactic Legend, Ahsoka Tano. Mm-hmm. You might have heard of her. We've talked about her a bit before. She's out there. We've seen the kit. She's tearing up arenas. She has some serious strengths. She has some weaknesses, as a good character should.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very excited to talk about her tonight, primarily. In addition to that, we've got some info on the new Datacron set. That's actually in game. You can buy them in the shop right now. By the time this releases, you got days before these Datacrons just poof.
I know.
And we start farming a new set. Goodbye, Great Mothers. Goodbye, Plo Koon. Eethie-poo. No one's ever going to use you for anything ever again. You're done.
You had your moment.
About all that and more. But first, let's celebrate some real holidays. Some blurf days. All right, 12/20 as this releases. Bo-Katan Mandalore. Catan, Mandalore, whatever. It's Star Wars. You can say it however you darn well please.
There you go.
Is 1 year old. And similarly, I don't know. Because of that, she is now permanently in the Journey Guide. And I'm sure a lot of people are happy about that. I mean, she is a Lord Vader slayer.
Yeah, she is.
Quite versatile, honestly, on offense. I always use her for Lord Vader, but if, like today, my opponent didn't have a Lord Vader, so whatever. I'll have her beat something else up. Really, really solid team, and a fun one to play as well.
100%. I think so. I think she's one of my favorite characters now, just because it finally made Bam decent. I mean, today, going against Lord Vader, being able to go through and do his whistling birds was so nice. It makes him finally okay after all of these years.
Yeah, I know. And the rest of the team is so strong. It's I mean, this is I listen to a lot of NBA podcasts, and this is feels like NBA. Well, it's 5-on-5, right? But having the rest of the team be that strong, that much of a threat, lets him do the whistling birds. And it's it's fine that he just sits back for a turn and charges, it's fine. And her armor shreds, and the team's survivability, and I love that team so much. One of my favorites, easily. So happy birthday, Bo. The very next day, we have Cassian Andor, who came out in 2016. 8 years old. Cassian is my daughter's age. He could date my daughter.
Wow.
That's weird.
Oh, that'd be really weird.
It's real weird.
I mean,
not Diego Luna.
I was going to say, like, I mean,
Cassian, the character in game.
I was going to say Diego would be like, you need to not publish this podcast if that was the case.
Right. Pulled from Apple,
Actually,
pulled from Spotify. Our sponsorship deals are gone.
I mean, if he's listening to us, I mean, we win either way, right? There is no bad press.
We have arrived, yeah. For sure. And that's it for Blurf Days. There's not a lot in December because Capital Games pieces out for the holidays, as they should. But happy Blurf Day, Bo. Happy Blurf Day, Cassian. Now, let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events brought to you by swgohevents.com. For a complete list of past, present, and future events, swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. This week is loaded with events, which is just awesome. Mm-hmm. I love it. And it's all easy stuff. It's click and sim or sim. I was like sim or auto. Yeah, sim. Easy stuff. Around the holidays, they're gone, right? But they want to, it's like when you go on vacation and you put a little extra food in your cat's bowl.
Yes, it is. That's what it is.
Make sure that litter box is clean. They got a self-watering thing and just a huge bowl of food. This is our huge bowl of kibble. All right. On the 20th, we've got Smuggler's Run, as well as Dark Sovereign, the Leviathan Fleet Mastery. I'll give you something to do. Maybe. You're working that, right?
No.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not there. Yeah, I mean...
I thought you had the Rex but hadn't unlocked it. I gotcha.
No.
Well, you can
cool
at least
like that.
Look. Yeah. I don't know. On the 21st, we've got a Military Might. We've got Galactic Bounties 1 on the 22nd, as well as Grandmaster's Training Mythic. Then on the 23rd, we'll have a territory battle start. Boy, that's going to be a banner territory battle. Like, we're going to miss some stars. I just know right? It starts on the 23rd. I know there's a cadence they have to stick to. There's nothing they can do to avoid this. This is just going to happen some years. But, that's rough. I mean...
I wonder how many of us are just going to hit that deploy button. And then poor guild leaders. I'm so sorry at this point. You are going to be so annoyed with people not doing their stuff, but gotta understand.
We'll be holly jolly and forgetting to deploy. Nothing says Christmas like missing a star.
I know, right?
Let's see. We also, on the 23rd, will have Pieces and Plans Mythic and an Omega Battle on Endor. Then on the 24th, we have Daring Droid Mythic, Sim. Rebel Roundup, Sim. Credit Heist. Oh, no, just those two.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 25th, Christmas Day. Oh, man. We wake up. We tiptoe downstairs and we look under the tree. And we find a credit heist.
Mm-hmm.
And we find Places of Power. And we find Emperor's Demise Mythic. We find a Smuggler's Run 2, which is no longer a pain in the butt.
I know, right? A sim.
We find a Duel of the Fates. Are you kidding me? It's Christmas Day, and it's magic.
It's like raining crystals not crystals, but credits at that point. We're Scrooge McDuck in these things.
Credit Heist and Duel of the Fates, same day. Oh, forget about it. I love it. 26th brings us Defense of Dathomir, Peridia Patrol, if you didn't have enough credits already.
Mm-hmm.
Now you do. That means I got to get on working on Enoch. Oof.
Yeah, that tier is actually pretty tough.
Is it? Great.
Like, so for me, like, because mine's Relic 3 and then 2 Relic 5s, and Ezra's a little bit of a meanie. I mean, it is tough.
My other guys are Relic 7, so maybe they can kind of carry him if I get him up to Relic 3 or 5 or whatever. Maybe I'll have him to 7 by then. I don't know. I mean, I just bought the Hyperdrive bundle, so I don't even know what I have anymore.
I mean, you have a ton of 73 characters at 5 stars. That's what you have now. It resets everything.
Yeah, I know. Oh my. You guys would never see me again. Yes. I would just disappear. Done with Twitch, done with video games in general. Just never. I'd go live a happy life as a fisherman in the Bahamas or something. Absolutely. That sounds horrible. I don't enjoy fishing. I'm not a tropical type person. What else though? The 26th, we've got Defensive Dathomir, Peridia Patrol. We have Artist of War Mythic and a Contraband Cargo. You guys, I have never loaded this many events into my document here. This is so much. And that's not including, we'll have Galactic Challenges popping up as well. It's going to be a Christmas to remember. Or a Hanukkah to remember.
Yes,
it's going to be a season to remember. Let's just say that. It'll be awesome. I love it. All right, before we dive into this week's top stories, I want to give a quick shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and you want to be a part of, the community, so to speak, if you want to be a Tatooiner, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this show possible, and you get access to the VIP section of our Discord server for a little behind-the-scenes banter, as well as our weekly Doth Chat, where we chat with patrons who give us enough money before the show every week on Wednesday nights. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
All right. Well, we got some fun stuff. So why don't we start with the low-hanging fruit for a moment here? Because you're probably going to need to do some vocal exercises and because this kit for Miss Ahsoka.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. So let's talk first. Some updates. We got some couple different things. First off, Punishing One. Are you ready for another ship grind? Because it's here and ready for you in fleets. So here we go. So
that's the real punishment,
I mean, weirdly enough, I was worried it was going to be like normal energy, and if that was the case, like I'm already using up all of that at the beginning of the day, so I'm pretty fortunate. I'm not liking it,
same.
But it's better than nothing. But so that's one wonderful thing there that came during the update. Another piece to it is some of the tunes got some updates, and I know it's one of those things for me. It's kind of weird. I really enjoy when they do the updates. Now, for me, I usually send you like 20 texts showing all the different ones going through, and
you sure do. Yeah,
it's weird, but it's just there's something new about it. So one of the first ones that I noticed was Sabine, and you were talking a little bit about what she had. Now she took her helmet out of her hand and put it on her head. But for some reason, she still feels like she needs to hold on to the helmet. It's
kind of like when you do something long enough, your muscles just get used to it. Like if you stand in a doorway with your arms pushed against the door and just push as hard as you can for 30 seconds, and then you walk out of the doorway and your arms just kind of raise like wings. That's what she's doing. She's so used to it. She can't help but do that.
I was just actually thinking this is introverted Sabine, because like she put the helmet on because she doesn't want to talk, and then she's like, "What do I do with my arms? Like when I'm trying to talk to you?" So like that's how I was
Ricky
thinking
Bobby.
I
don't know what to do with my hands right now.
But I mean, weirdly enough, I really do like the helmet on. It's kind of fun. So being that now she's really, really coming into her own with GL Ahsoka, it's wonderful to see her get a chance to phantomly hold that helmet. now, well, like we said right at the beginning, Mr. Gas, he did get an update in not just the face, which, again, I think all of us can say you love it, you hate it, whatever that is, but he definitely got a really big update. One thing I noticed first off is the armor itself is actually pretty shiny in his whole kit, like his whole... I mean, it looks pretty nice. Even his hair is even a little bit more wavy. So
every time there's a big event in this game, they take another swing at Gas.
Yeah,
you know, they're like, this time we'll get it right. And I gotta say, this looks pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. And I weirdly enough, I was using him earlier today. I don't know, it just maybe be how he looks now, but he looks like he's holding the lightsaber differently. So next time you get to play with Gas, take a look. It kind of does look like it's a little tiny bit different. So maybe just how he's holding it, or I'm just paying attention now. So who knows? But now another one too that was new is Barriss, and this is a different one because have we seen Barriss in live action before?
Yeah,
we have.
Yeah, she's in. She's a background character in the prequels. No lines, no nothing. Just like Luminara. Yeah.
Okay. So she is no longer the cartoon version. She is, has a cloak for days. This thing is definitely a little bit different. But I mean, at first, I obviously know it's Barriss, but I haven't seen her in the obviously in the movies there. So she definitely looks different. She doesn't look like a little girl. She looks like a woman.
Yeah, I mean, this is more movie accurate.
Yeah.
That cloak is cool. That looks
It
great.
is, right? Like, I like the details that they have into it. So, yep, that was Barriss.
Luminara still looks like a cartoon.
I know, right? And
you click over one character and you're just, woo, ah.
Now, another one that got out of the... I still love the Clone Wars, and I still think when I think about Ventress, there's two versions of her. So one is going to be in the... it's not canon. It's like the Clone Wars original.
Oh yeah,
like
Genndy Tartakovsky's series. Yeah,
like I really like that. But then in the Clone Wars, that's what I see Ventress is now. This version of Ventress, I like everything that they do right, but it just seems like it's like a grumpy little boy. That's the only thing I can kind of say. Like,
I think you're a grumpy little boy.
I am a grumpy little boy about this, but it just kind of looks like. I mean, they made her a little bit less feminine.
Well, it's
feminine.
Aluminum linoleum. Yeah, I think it's tricky with her because she's never been in live action.
Yeah.
Yet.
I hope she does at some point. Someday. Yeah. I mean,
so yeah, it is a little different, but
now I have watched a lot of the I'm the have not, so the have haves. Is that what it is?
Maybe.
I mean, we'll call it that. The have haves that have gotten a chance to actually play the Ahsoka event. She is inside of that event, but as bounty hunter, and that version looks amazing. And so I would love, that would just be amazing to be able to, and it looks like the kit is a little bit different in it too. So even though it says Ventress ? So that's kind of funny. That's the name of the of Ventress. So yeah, so those are the main pieces, the tune updates. Now we also too have some new Datacrons. Now, like you said earlier,
yeah, we do.
It's sad, right? It's sometimes sad when we have these sets, and I know when SLKRs went away, I mean, I didn't shed a tear, but I was a little bit disappointed and maybe a little bit of a tear, right? So
yeah, it was fun to use. It made Jabba just an afterthought, which is just kind of nice.
So now we're gonna get rid of some really good ones, and I know like this time around I didn't have the sisters there, so or the mother, so that one for me is not that big a deal. But I will say I faced it a few times. That's not cool, right? So
no, it's not.
And it has been nice to have some Jedi in there that actually truly, like you said, Eethie-poo. This poor guy. I mean, he's like, I have had my 15 minutes of fame, and we've moved on now. So
TikTok, buddy, you're done. Yeah.
So let's go through, and we probably, because her kit's probably going to take 35 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating either. So why don't we start kind of first with just kind of our first impressions of, so we got the light side and dark side like normal, but we looks like we again have unaligned force users, so which this is the second time around that we've had those, but we haven't had rebels in a couple minutes that isn't Leia.
Yeah.
And so then it looks like we have rebels and then
Rogue One.
Or Road One, yeah. And then so we have Imperial troopers. Now, the one thing that I'm really excited about, weirdly enough, is Tuskens. Now, if you were like me and got the cheat code where I used the old credit card to get the Tuskens up to Relic 5, it looks like this might be a couple little spicy little Tuskens happening here. So that's where I kind of wanted to start is we have, looks like basically all of them, but the ones that are standing out for me right now, of course, is Chieftain. So every time
Chieftain looks like the one to go with.
Right? So it looks like when you use the basic ability, they gain 25% turn meter. So that's wonderful. Now, the other one that I was thinking is Tusken Warrior. That one, it basically reflects, any damage dealt back, 20% of true damage. So again, I'm not sure if it's going to do anything crazy, but it is kind of fun to be able to kind of see that.
The thing to keep in mind with Tuskens is unless you're in 3v3, you could get all kinds of Tusken bonuses and you're only going to use one. Now, we are going into 3v3, will be the next round of Grand Arena. I mean, that said, though, none of them look like they're that good that they're going to make a huge difference outside of Tusken Chieftain. I think Chieftain's going to be really good. Warrior, like you said, reflects damage back, but it's only the damage that Warrior is dealt. And it can't defeat enemies. Whereas Chieftain, when he uses a basic, other allies gain turn meter. And he does that a lot. So I see the potential for a pretty good Tusken turn meter train, and especially pair that with how they stun everyone else who tries to do any kind of turn meter train. It's already a solid defensive team. I mean, sure, there's counters, but anything that's not listed as a counter, if you think this might work, it won't. And this is going to be even tighter defensive team, and I think that's pretty cool. As much as I say I don't like defensive Datacrons, this one's a little different because, like I said, there are some clear counters, and I don't think that's going to change. I think if it was a counter before, it'll still be a counter, but there's more traps for people trying kind of off-meta things, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And kind of looking too, just again, we'll save the GL Ahsoka because they have to do that, right? Anytime they have something new, they got to make it more difficult. But a couple in here that are kind of fun is Commander Luke. He finally has a Datacron. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of fun. It feels like that group hasn't really had any. Now, I'm not exactly sure how great this is going to be, but it seems like it's pretty fun. So whenever they damage an enemy with a special ability and they don't have armor shred, they get armor shred. So that's great, right? And whenever they use a basic ability and damage an enemy with armor shred, they do expose for 2 turns. And then they also gain, protection up for 2 turns. So that feels pretty good.
Expose is instant punishment with him too, because people are constantly assisting. So him inflicting expose doesn't mean the next person that attack gets to take advantage of it. Someone's going to be assisting right then and there, and it's just going to be a boatload of damage with shred, which is going to only make it more damage, that's really cool.
So then I was also looking at, it looks like Han Solo has one, which is basically the same thing as Admiral Piet's, is if they die, they automatically come back with 100% health and protection again, and then get some, be able to go through and get some protection back up. So that's kind of interesting.
And a bonus turn,
So, but then when you look at the normal ability piece to it, there's not if the tank dies. So that's kind of interesting. So it does. I'm appreciating that being gone, because I feel like Reva, Leia's a beast if she has that. It just seems like the tank revive is kind of like ran its course for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm over it.
Yeah. I get you. Any of the other trooper ones in there that you feel like is going to be a decent one?
I don't know. I mean, he's so not meta, but I kind of like range trooper. Whenever he crits an enemy, which is quite often, he gains 10% crit damage, defense penetration, and offense, stacking to a max of 200% until the end of the battle. I see the potential, as much as he assists, the potential for that to be significant damage. Piet obviously has a little potential there. And then Snowtrooper is kind of a beast. Whenever he crits, he gains damage immunity for 1 turn.
Right.
That's kind of stupid.
I know.
He gets bonus turn meter and blinds the enemy. If they were target locked, he also gains protection up, retribution, and speed up. So, like, I think that's kind of interesting. Again, it's kind of like those the Tuskens. I don't see this making suddenly troopers can beat things they couldn't beat before. Yeah. It's just maybe now a slightly different lineup, which maybe that frees up some other trooper to put on your Iden team or to put on some other team. Or maybe this guy gets slotted onto the Iden team. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm trying to see, like, so what are you going to put it with? I think whenever an ally attacks out of turn, there's a chance to remove turn meter, but that's like you have a chance for a chance. So yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't seem like...
Think of how often they attack out of turn on a trooper team.
But a 25% chance to do 10%. I guess it could be, right? But I don't. It's going to be interesting to see kind of if that truly does anything. But on the other side, the first time it falls below 50%, they gain damage immunity. I mean, that's not bad, but... Yeah. So I know it's looking at kind of the other pieces that are in here. So I'll talk about Galactic Legend, Ahsoka. So if you've watched any videos, if you've seen anything on her yet, now we haven't talked about the kit yet, but she has 2 different, ultimate abilities. And that first one, in certain circumstances, really starts to ramp up really quickly. And some of the time it's extremely quick. Now, based on this, at the start of the battle, if all Spectre allies gain, what is that? Mora's wisdom there for 2 turns.
Mariah.
Yeah.
Mariah? I think.
Words.
Yeah.
And so then whenever...
Star Wars words at that.
There you go, right? Whenever a Spectre ally uses a special ability that has that, she gains a 3% ultimate charge. So, like, she is going to be hitting that ultimate, which messes with cools down, and, like, it really does make a difference. And then she goes through, and after she hits the first one, then she can hit the secondary one. It really feels like this is going to be like a super charge to where she's going to get to that special, to go to that, ultimate, like right off the bat. And that's going to be interesting to see. Yeah.
It's hard to say, without unlocking her and seeing, what it's like to kind of pilot her, but speeding up alt charge is a pretty scary idea in general with any Galactic Legend, really. So I think that's probably, and that's like the big, she's not a marquee character, but that's like the marquee or the headliner of this set is that Datacron, right? So the other thing I wanted to point out was Lightside does not have this, but Darkside has a all allies start the battle with 25% turn meter.
Yeah,
that's going to be nuts. That's going to shake things up a lot. Troopers, obviously, that's huge for them because once they get going, you're not taking any turns. You're just watching the troopers tear you apart. So I feel like looking over the other ones, there's some stacking offense. That's neat. But those allies that start the battle with 25% turn meter, that's going to be ugly.
Yeah. I mean, do you think...
We've seen that once before, didn't we?
I think so, yeah. And I think there's been a few times that we've seen something like that.
I think it was like they got 5% per dark side ally or something like that. Or am I thinking of... I don't know. No, I think that's a health and protection thing. I was thinking of 15% per...
Yeah, I think that's...
dark
isn't
side
that...
ally. That's...
Yeah. I think that's basically where, right at the beginning, based on how many is there, right?
Oh, and that's back for light side. Light side has that. That's not bad.
Yeah. So, all right. So I think that, with Datacrons, let's move into the main course here. And like I said, I mean, vocals are ready. You're got this down because it's only, I think it's actually longer than the last kit we did.
This is, I went to college. I did not have a dissertation because I'm, went to very basic schooling, but here's my dissertation. Man. Okay, so Ahsoka, tank, unaligned force user, of course, Spectre. She is the head of this Spectre group, and based on my squad arena, looks like she does a pretty darn good job. Which I actually looked at Squad Arena today for like the leaderboard for the first time in probably months. And everything's great mothers. So yeah, that Datacron going away is, I mean, who cares about Squad Arena, but I'm not going to miss it. All right. So let's just go over the kit first here. Basic ability is Aegis Charge. Out of those two words, charge is the one I can't say. Aegis Charge. So deal physical damage to target enemy twice and dispel all buffs on them. Gain 5% bonus protection stacking till the end of the encounter. And if Ahsoka has perfect defense, increase its duration by 1. The weakest other light side ally recovers 10% health and protection. Special 1 is Shatter Strike. That sounds like a 90s Steven Seagal movie.
Right. Synthesizers. As the music.
Yeah. A little bit of saxophone in there. Deal physical damage and inflict target enemy with 2 stacks of off balance until they're damaged by an attack, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. And Armor Shred until the end of battle. Light side allies recover 5% health and protection, and that's doubled for Spectre allies. Second special is called Defiant Resolve. This is Ahsoka dispels all debuffs on herself and taunts for 2 turns. Dispel resilient defense from all allies. For each stack of resilient defense dispelled, she gains 10% defense and mastery stacking until the end of the battle. If Ahsoka had defense up and tenacity up, she dispels them and gains perfect defense for 2 turns. If she already has perfect defense, increase its duration by 2. Target other ally gains 25% turn meter. And if they're Spectre, they also gain Morai's Wisdom if they didn't already have it until the end of battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Morai's Wisdom is plus 15 speed. Takes 10% less damage, take reduced damage from percent health damage effects. I'm already losing my voice. This is crazy. And immune to turn meter reduction. Her unique, number 1, is Daughter of Mortis. At the start of battle, Ahsoka gains Morai's Wisdom until the end of the battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Ahsoka has 100% counter chance and is immune to damage immunity. I'm sorry, but it just gets stupider as the power creep gains control. Someone's going to get true damage immunity or something. Immune to damage immunity. While Ahsoka has perfect defense, she recovers 15% health and protection whenever she attacks out of turn. At the start of each encounter, Ahsoka taunts for 2 turns. At the start of each of her turns, Ahsoka has offense equal to 35% of her defense until the start of her next turn. Whenever she uses a special, she gains 6% ult. If all allies were Spectre at the start of the battle, whenever an ally is dazed, they dispel it and gain 15 speed until the end of the battle. That's stacking. So, whew.
Yeah.
Of course, she's got the Galactic Legend Zeta, just reduced damage from percent health damage effects and massive damage. They take massive damage from destroy effects, and they're immune to stun. 10% extra max health and protection per relic level, and damage they receive is always reduced by 30%. Then the leader ability. Man, we really
that's where it really gets like
have a ways to go.
Nuts.
So
yeah.
it's like a relatively good kit, right? We're fine. The leader is commander of the Wayward. And it is Spectre allies have plus 30% defense, mastery, and offense. Okay. At the start of the battle, all other non-summoned Spectre allies that didn't already have it gain exile until the end of the battle, which can't be copied or dispelled, and they gain the granted ability Reunite. If Ezra is around, he gains 25 stacks of per guild migration. If there is not an Ezra, Spectre allies gain 100% max health and max protection. Whenever an ally with Mirai's Wisdom uses a special, Ahsoka gains 6% ult charge. Whenever an ally uses Reunite, Ahsoka gains 30% ult charge. Whenever Hu Yang gains any version of History of the Galaxy, she gains 30% ult charge. Whew. Whenever a Spectre ally has a buff dispelled on them, they gain 10% turn meter and 5% mastery stacking till the end of the battle. Whenever an enemy gains protection up, Spectre allies gain 15% offense. That's a middle finger right there.
Right.
Until the end of the battle, that's stacking. Whenever an enemy with less than 100% turn meter gains bonus turn meter, they take true damage, which can't be evaded. This can't defeat enemies. Reunite is remove exile from this character and another target ally. Gain 25% mastery till the end of the battle and take a bonus turn. This ability is on a shared cooldown between allies who have Reunite and is immune to cooldown manipulation. Now, as you mentioned, she has 2 ults. Come on, man.
I know,
all right,
2.
First, ultimate. Talk about power creep.
Right.
Just, ugh.
Well, it's funny because there's 2, but there's 3 levels in the second one.
I know. It's ridiculous. All right. The first one is Worlds Apart. This requires 100% ult to activate. And Ahsoka Tano gains 30% ult charge whenever an ally uses Reunite. 30% ult charge when Hu Yang gains any version of History of the Galaxy. We know this. 6% ult whenever she uses a special, and 6% ult whenever an ally with Mirai's Wisdom uses a special. Okay, cool. So this is reset the cooldown of all allies, and set the cooldown of all enemies to their max, which can't be resisted. Spectre allies recover 50% health and protection. Remove exile from a random ally. And a random Spectre ally who didn't already have it gains Mirai's Wisdom until the end of battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or presented. Ezra Bridger exile gains 10 stacks of per guild migration. Target enemy is exiled for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. This ability transforms into Relentless Redoubt. So the second ult is Relentless Redoubt. This is requires 50% ult to activate. Ahsoka Tano gains 30% ult charge whenever... we know that, yeah. The other strongest Spectre ally gains Deflective Ward, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented until the end of the encounter. Whenever an ally with Deflected Ward takes damage from an enemy, Deflective Ward expires, and the enemy who damaged them is inflicted with 2 stacks of off balance for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, And if they weren't stealthed, deflective target. Whenever Ahsoka uses an ability during her turn, deflective target is removed from the target enemy, and Ahsoka takes a bonus turn. If the target didn't have deflective target, it is removed from all remaining enemies. Ahsoka can ignore taunt effects when targeting enemies with deflective target. Whenever she's damaged by an enemy at the end of that turn, she dispels deflective ward from a random ally. At 50% ult charge, she recovers 25% health and protection. All light side allies gain 10% mastery. At 75% ult charge, she recovers an additional 25% health and protection, and all light side allies gain an additional 20% mastery till the end of the battle. The strongest and weakest other Spectre ally who didn't already have it gain deflective ward, can't be copied, dispelled, prevented, and inflict ability block on target enemy for one turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. And then at 100% ult charge, she recovers an additional 50% health and protection. All light side allies gain an additional 30% mastery. So that's 60% until the end of the battle. And all other Spectre allies who didn't already have it gain deflective ward, which can't be copied, dispelled, prevented, inflict ability block, and that can't be evaded or resisted. Deflective ward is damage received is reduced to 1.
Right.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, CG?
And the best part and the fun part of this is that as Ezra ramps that mastery, it's his ability to dodge is going to be the interesting part. So he just, as he continues to ramp up, it gets harder and harder to hit him. And it's really going to make it extremely difficult for you because he's beefy. And we haven't seen these yet with the Omicrons yet. So this is going to be pretty saucy.
Oh, golly. Deflective target, also, I mentioned in there, is Ahsoka can ignore taunt effects to target that character. And she takes a bonus turn after using an ability while targeting that unit. Dispels if this character stealths. Okay. Cool. What is the... What? God. I can't analyze this. I can't. It's just... I got to get my hands on it and see what it can beat and how, this is nuts.
I mean, it's really fun. I mean, one thing it's weird a little bit is that we don't actually have the images. So unless you've watched it online, normally we would see what the moves do, but we're not seeing it. But there's a lot to it. So I think the one thing that's interesting is because some of the reactions out there on Ahsoka is she just kind of middle, right? She's not unbelievable, but all of this kit is baked kind of in the background. So it's not like she's out there just deleting folks like SLKR, or, she's not like Leia where she's really the trio can do it. It's just that she makes everybody else so good. In Sabine, Sabine went from somebody that was doing barely any damage to now with the ability to crit, she's just taking fools out. And it's so different in some ways because she kind of based on what I was kind of seeing is she's a tank, but she acts as a support. And the whole team itself just goes from being, nobodies, not really nobodies, right? But to being pretty dang good and kind of watching against other GLs. I mean, weirdly enough, Lord Vader can counter this. And so can Leia, but it's all about the fact that that stops the crits. So if you crit though, Huyang and Sabine is just gonna murder folks. It's pretty exciting. Not for the folks that get murdered, but
I just whatever. I'm already having to use Ezra in Conquest, and trying to figure out strategy with exile and whatnot was already kind of like, I don't know. I don't get it. It just seems like a hassle.
Well, so I mean,
this will be, like I said, it's going to be a unlock it and then kind of get a feel for it.
Well, I think the difference though is like you have a really complicated kit that's in like a different language, right? As you're using it with Ezra, but all of a sudden Ahsoka comes in and it's just a lot more clear. And especially even with the exile, I mean, that new special ability on there to almost, it's like basically remove it. It adds that mastery so quickly and then takes it to the other side. I think it's going to be easier when you truly use it.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I will say though, I mean, like as far as balance goes, it doesn't look overpowered. It looks complicated. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think, and maybe I'll be completely wrong because I will face this, I'm sure, eventually. No one in my Grand Arena bracket has it. Oh, thank goodness.
Right.
But yeah, we're all gonna just have to get used to it. Figure it out, see where it hits you, because it's gonna hit you, and we all gotta learn to beat it and learn how to pilot it. So
true.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired, but it just seems like so much work to to try and manage all that in a battle, So that said, you've seen footage of her. I haven't actually seen footage of her yet.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to watch almost all the streams for Arnold, actually, Arnold T101. And really did a wonderful job with it. It was a lot of fun to kind of watch, and from the unlock to being able to watch both on defense and on offense, I just kind of want to get a decent grasp of it. And I mean, he used all of the GLs against it and then faced all the GLs. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. And then kind of he has right now like a kind of, basically just a shorter version of that video. And I mean, it really shows that it's not going to be like, I know when Malak came out, it was just tough because you just couldn't do anything about it. I think this time around, I mean, even when Leia came out, it really felt like, well, there's nothing we can do. It's just, you're going to lose. It doesn't seem that way with her. I think it is more balanced. And again, the inside of Grand Arena can be drastically different because of the Omicrons, but totally. And then now the Datacron coming in as well. But it really feels like they did a pretty good job based on this first initial video that we've seen, that it really isn't going to be God tier, but it's going to be Goddish tier. And I can handle that.
Demigod tier.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Yeah, I'll take that. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, again,
right.
how long do you think until we have her? I mean, we're basically on the same path. What do you think? What's your guess?
Well, let me look at my journey guide. See what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty.
I mean, I'm a little bit farther behind than you are because I still need to get some people up to Relic 7s. But I mean, really the big thing is going to be what Hera, Sabine, because right now Huyang and Hera aren't farmable, and then of course Sabine isn't either, right? So
no. All three of those aren't. And that's why I have been buying packs for Hera, because she's the last one that'll be farmable. She was the last one to release. So I figured, if I'm going to work somebody with packs, it's going to be her. Which actually, I'm going to do that right now because I got that hyperdrive bundle. Let's live a little live on air.
Get a 330.
I can get a what? Oh, a 330. Yeah. I thought you were talking about like a bigger pack. I was like, huh? No.
You're like, there's more?
Yeah. Let's see. $12.99. What are we going to get? It's opening. It's 7. That's interesting.
Well, hey,
it's not interesting at all.
I was gonna say you're 7 closer, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So we're basically there. No, I mean it's gonna be like a couple months probably, right?
Yeah, it's my guess.
I mean the way it's going, if they're not even farmable yet, it's gonna be some time, a few months before. I mean, unless I pony up, and I'm not gonna pony up that much. I just spent 1,200 crystals, but I'm not made of crystals.
So man, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 still. So, ouch. But still, I'm looking forward to it. I still think I rewatched the series. I'm just ready to go. I'm happy with it. So,
excellent. All right. So, we're speaking of not having any crystals. How was your Grand Arena Championship last week?
Well, it honestly wasn't too bad. I even got promoted, which, is wonderful. I mean, anytime you get a promotion, it's nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talk about the last one, but the first one I'll start first was against, it was a loss against Ginger 687. This was a tough one because right when I turned it on, it was 18-14. And so that level of, okay, is this going to work, scenario. But the hard part was Kenobi. It was a scenario where I ended up facing Kenobi first. I know I was going to have to do a mirror match. It didn't go well. It was weird because basically they only did like 4 or 5 moves and half my team was dead. And I was just like, okay, I guess this is going to be a loss for me. So I just played around a little bit with it. But I will say I did lose. I lost 1090 to 1814, but I did have one hold. I have I am never going to say that I am good at ships, nor do I like ships. I hate ships. But I had a home one on defense, and I usually put the most trash of all trash on defense for ships because I know I'm going to keep everything for offense and just go for it. So it was a home one with no reinforcements and no 5 stars. No ships above 5 stars. I got a hold with their profundity. How?
Wow.
So they did 3. So they only did 3 of them, and somehow I got a hold. And the only thing I can think of, and I should have looked at it beforehand, is that they just exited out of it, or their game crashed.
Got a phone call.
Or like I don't know what happened, but I mean, they played their phone upside down. I really don't know, but somehow I got a hold for that. So
that is wacky.
So then I go into round 2, and this was kind of nice because looks like they kind of stalled out at 1,033. So I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be not bad. And I go in there completely easy D. I mean, it was real nice and easy. Except for the fact it wasn't all the way. So, but what I ended up happening was I got through all of the actual tunes. That was pretty easy. So I got to 1359 and I just didn't have to do ships. So that was pretty nice. And so, but the weird thing again is just the holds I'm getting is just weird. So my Riva team held against like Slicker, and then my Malicos held against C. And then they used BAM against my Gungan. So I'm just like, all right, I like this Kyber 4 deal here. And so
Kyber 4 is a strange place, isn't it?
And so my only bad thing that I did on that one is I thought that Bo could be everything, and good old Finn in that crew, unfortunately, I couldn't beat that. So yeah, it was...
Wow.
I just didn't get a turn. They just deleted me, so that was kind of interesting. So then I go into round 3, and I love it when I face people with like real names. And I hope this guy's name is truly Mike McCoy. All I know is Mike was ticked. Like he had to be pretty upset with me because he put up 1806.
Josh Hatfield over here,
right? So I'm like, all right, I got nothing to lose. I mean, full clear. And it wasn't an awesome full clear. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. He had Leia on defense and a Kenobi, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to lose this. But Bane easily took down Leia. The mirror match for me for Kenobi worked out really well. And Bo destroyed their Lord Vader. Then I go in there and I see a Profundity. I'm like, all right, come on, 3-star punishing one. I'm giving you some love. You got to give me some love back. Mm-hmm. And it worked out. So beat their Profundity. And I ended up winning 1808 to 1806. So I just, in my brain, Mr. Mike was like, are you kidding me? 2 points? This is ridiculous. Probably yelling. Yeah. I hope he didn't throw his phone, but if he did, I hope we got insurance for it. So, so 2 out of, end up getting promotion after that one. So back into Kyber 3 for a hiccup. And, we'll see what's going on. But how about for you?
Man, last week just stunk. To be frank, it stunk. I think I mentioned last week that I went up against a player called Sjokl. SJO, like Sjokl. I don't know. And I put up 1775, and I was like, that's beatable, but we'll see. Sjokl saw 1775 and said, I ain't messing with that. So they beat my Reva with a Darth Bane and didn't do anything else. So I won 1775 to 75. I lost some stupid matches. There was that one, Bo-Katan failed against Lord Vader, killed everything but Vader because I didn't take out Maul first. I left him, and that was just oops. My Slicker couldn't take out Great Mothers. Eventually, I used Kenobi on it, and that went well enough. And then Gas failed against General Grievous. Are you kidding me?
Wow, yeah.
Come on. Wampa went in and finished the job there. Round 2, I went up against Yuki, and they put up 1796. Okay, that's fine. I did get a defensive hold with my Finn holding against their Padme, like just a Padme Galactic Republic, not Queen Amidala, Padme.
Interesting.
And then they tried to take out my Jabba with a Thrawn lead. And to their credit, they took everything but Jabba and Chrysanthemum out. So, I mean, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
But then it approached 5 o'clock, and I had forgotten to attack. And so I get in there and just do 3 quick battles, and I put up 205 points, 1796. Yeehaw. Then, in the finals, not the finals like we're winning, because I won one, lost one, but last round, Ichilus Kurin put up 1506. Man, they struggled. They tried to bad batch my Qui-Gon. Sometimes that works, but with that stun Datacron, that's pretty dicey, and it did not work out for them. They failed to take out my Negotiator with a Profundity, a good, solid Profundity, and just completely failed. Then they tried to take out my Negotiator with their Negotiator, and nope, looks like that was not happening either. So, I mean, they only put up 1506, and ya boy forgot to attack again.
Oh, no.
I had like a super busy weekend, and I'm also kind of not that smart. So that was pretty rough. This round, though, I put the hurt on my opponent. 1839 against Willoughby. And we'll see what they do, but I feel like I got this. I have a pretty significant galactic power advantage over everyone in my bracket. So I think that maybe I might just got this. We'll see. All right, that's it. We're going to head out. We're going to take some holiday time. Look, we're going to be off next week for real this time. Doing Christmassy things. And then the week after is going to be New Year's. And to be completely honest, nothing's going to happen in the game. So we'll probably be off. But if something does happen, we'll look at either you and I can figure out a time where we could record, or if you're not available, I'm not putting you on the spot like that right now. I'll do a breaking thing if something pops up. Not a big deal. But you're probably not going to see us again till 2025. Or hear us, anyways. You'll probably see me on Twitch doing my thing. Even though the last 2 weekends I didn't stream. This weekend I think I actually will, which I know we're going into the holidays. Whatever that says about me and my family, you'll see me on Twitch.
Yes.
But before we head out, let's hit them with one last 2024. Who you grinding?
Wow. So it's interesting because I started to fill this out today and I'm going, I really haven't done much. But I do have something that is nice. So I think I talked about last week. I don't remember. But with the ability to pay for those light speeds, I was able to unlock Dr. Aphra, which I really thought that was going to be a character that I was never going to unlock unless something like that happened. And so with unlocking her, I got her up to Relic 5. And I'm done with that for Relic 5. And so all the rest of the crew is also at Relic 5 at that point. So now I'm working on modding and just kind of feels good. You know, I won't lie. And weirdly enough, I'm actually going to be utilizing Vader in that group because he has not been used in such a long time for me because I don't see Geonosians anymore. But so that was really the only relic investment that I had from that week. Now, when I look at Ahsoka, nothing really changed here because nothing's farmable. And so I still need, I'm basically right now just hoarding some signal data. And my biggest problem is going to be the fact that I don't have any relic. All that relic scrap is just a pain in the rear end. And so, and I'm a little bit crystal poor at the moment. So I'm hoping that Santa comes down in the old chimney and drops me some Apple gift cards because I want to get back on track. But that's what I wrote the letter for is, for some crystals. But
dear Santa, I need that crystal.
I know, right? I need
naughty list.
I need that fix. Now Shin, she went from 35 out of 85 up to a whopping 65 out of 85. And then Merrick, 3 out of 65 to 21 out of 65. That one seems like it's going so slow. Speaking of slow, Punishing One went from 0 out of 30 up to 21 out of 30. So,
ooh, that's what mine did exactly.
Oh, really? Look at us, twins.
Interesting.
So that's about it. So I hope that by the time that we do the next one, I have a little bit more to report, and hopefully I don't get coal. Even though I probably could sell some coal to get some Apple gift cards too.
Maybe.
Still. So there we go. That is my weak but nice Dr. Aphra win. So how about for you? Who are you grinding?
So a thought just occurred to me. We need to come back on the new year and analyze. You remember we made New Year's resolutions?
Oh crap, we did.
We gotta analyze those, see how we did. I haven't paid attention to mine at all. And
I totally forgot we did it.
I could be wrong, but I think I remember saying I'd be at 13 million GP. And I'm not. So we'll see. I'm at 12.53. So it ain't happening. But we gotta listen back and score ourselves on how we did. And that'll be our first episode back in the new year. That I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week I took Death Trooper Peridia, a.k.a. the Nibbler, from Relic 4 up to Relic 7. He's set for now. Enoch I got from 59 up to 88 out of 100. Soon. Very soon, my dude.
Very soon.
Padawan Sabine is chilling at 15 out of 30. Hu Yang is 40 out of 65. And then General Syndulla, I bought some more packs. So I took her from 14 up to 28 out of 85. I might buy another one. Should I do it? Am I that?
Do it.
I'm just going to do it right now. Because I'm gonna win this round of Grand Arena, so I might as well just grab this thing. One last pack. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this.
Come on, 3:30
live for all these people. It's 7. That's crazy. Okay, so she's 35 out of 85. It's the worst. Just wasting crystals. I don't care. Let's see. Balin Skull. Shin went. This is my Balin Skull requirements. Shin went from 20 up to 43 out of 85. Merrick went from 20 up to 38 out of 65. Punishing one, samesies, 0 to 21 out of 30. Now, the real fun here is my Zeta and my Omicron. I'll do them in reverse order. My Omicron was for Ezra. I'm getting ready, man. He's going to be a killer. My Zeta this week, though, is the real pièce de résistance, so to speak. Clone Wars Chewbacca.
Oh, wow.
I Zeta'd that sucker. You give me 3 more shards of him, and I'll just celebrate, because whatever, it's all shard shop currency. But I've got a fully Zeta'd Wookiee team now. And that's a really stupid thing to have, but I have it. I'm at the point. Once again, let me try to preface with, this is not an intentional flex. It's just a silly situation to find yourself in. That, like, look, I've got struggles. Signal data, attacking in Grand Arena. There's things that, I need help with. But Zetas, I've been playing every day since the game came out, and I'm at that point where I don't need any Zetas, and I'm not close enough to unlocking Balin or Ahsoka or Darkseid Rey that I need to be saving Zetas. I should soon. I should start that soon, but whatever. So sometimes I get a Zeta and I do something stupid. I did Darth Nihilus's a while back. And now I did Clone Wars Chewbacca, and I'm at that point. Like, when I say Darth Nihilus, I mean his leader ability that no one will ever use. So yeah, we're doing silly things over here, and I like doing silly things. It raises my GP for territory battles, and it is stupid. So I like that. There you go.
There you go.
That's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you call Eethcoff Eethie-poo. I did that on my stream and it just felt wrong. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. Become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon, and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Pabuapa and swgoh.gg and swgohevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force, RNG, and the Jingle Bell spirit be with you.